We are rolling through this merry month of May. How are you doing on it? Are you merry? I think that was one of your first homeworks this month, right? Our theme this month is called The Way of the Heart, and our topic this morning is All You Need Is Love. I don't know about you, but me, when I say those words, what automatically comes after it? Do, 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 do. All you need is love. So this topic of needs has been batted around really for centuries. And I wanted to, it made me think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And I put together the little diagram that he put forth on this pyramid. And he talks about, this was written in 1943, and it talks about the bottom level being the basic needs of a person. Physical needs. You need to have food, you need to breathe, you need shelter, you need sleep, those basic things. And then it comes up, above that is the security of the body and our health and our resources. And then it comes into the next level, which is the psychological level, that our need for self-esteem, our need to connect with family and friendships. And then the final area on the pyramid, the top level, he called self-actualization, where we are creative, we have spontaneity, we accept things as they are, and that is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. He said that 2% of the population actually get to the top, self-actualization. So what are our needs, though, really? I mean, if you look at Maslow, that's something to consider. You know, I think that's a true thing to look at. But Maslow looked at what he identified as like 18 different people in history who became self-actualized. Those examples of those being Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson, and Albert Einstein. And he gave characteristics that these folks emulate or they display. And the characteristics that those folks display are, let me see if I can find my little sheet on it. They perceive reality effectively and can tolerate uncertainty. They accept themselves and others for what they are. They are spontaneous in thought and action. They are problem-centered, not self-centered. They have an unusual sense of humor. They look at life objectively. They are highly creative. They are concerned for the welfare of humanity. They are capable of deep appreciation of basic life experiences. They establish deep, satisfying interpersonal relationships with a few people. They have peak experiences. They have a need for privacy. And they have strong moral and ethical standards. So that are the characteristics of these people who become self-actualized. And the one that came out to me in that right now was the second one, where it says, accept themselves and others for what they are. I had someone say to me this last week, the person, and actually it's a quote from Maya Angelou, and Maya Angelou said, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. And I pulled up a video, an interview that Oprah had with Maya Angelou. And Oprah was talking about when she was younger, she had a boyfriend. She wanted him to be her boyfriend. And she would sit and wait for him. He said he would come, and she'd sit and wait, and she didn't want to call him because, then that would show that she was eager, but, she kept waiting, and he didn't call her, and she was angst all these times because he didn't show up. And so when she heard Maya Angelou say, when people show you who they are, believe them, Oprah added, the first time. I think many times we have this inclination in our head that we want somebody to be a certain way. And if we can only just keep that vision in our heads, they'll change. They'll become that. But we can't change people. Who can we change? Ourselves. And that, to me, is the real tricky one. Because it says is accept themselves and others as they are. Can we look at ourselves and accept what we are? That gets tricky because the ego comes in and says, oh, you're perfect, you're great. Or it says, who do you think you are? One way or the other. And yet those characteristics of those people who are actualized are able to be objective, to look and to be aware. And that's why we talk so much here about being able to step back and just observe. What are my feelings? What is it that I'd like that person to be? And they're not. That's the way it is, It reminded me of a talk that I was listening to, a married couple, and they were at this retreat, and she was talking about how she likes everything neat and tidy, and yet her husband had this habit of having this one room that was just filled, overflowing with his stuff. And she said, you know what, I can't change him, that's the way he is, but I have him put it all in one room, and then I can close the door. So there's ways that you can accept people as they are and still, be acceptable for you as well. And when we look back at ourselves, when we look at ourselves objectively, saying, what is it I'm really feeling here? What is it I'm really thinking? And accept it. You can't move on, you can't change, you can't do any better if you don't accept where you're at. That's how you move forward. So self-examination is what we're talking about here. What am I thinking? What am I feeling? Our wonderful, beloved Reverend John Polensky had a benefit concert on Friday night. He is going through the throes of stage 4 cancer treatment, and just amazing. He's had 3 of his chemo treatments, and he takes a picture. You see him on Facebook every time. He's sitting there just as happy as can be, and but he's saying all of this internal, God is flowing through all the chemicals, it's only God is all there is. This guy still has a full head of hair. He sang for an hour and a half and played his 12-string guitar Friday night. I mean, he has life energy bubbling through him, regardless of whatever else is going on. Well, one of the songs that he sang that he wrote several years ago is called "When Love Points the Way." This is based on Ernest Holmes, is the founder of Science of Mind. Ernest Holmes' quote is, "Love points the way and law makes the way possible." So what that means is love is this generating force. It is that energy that life is. It's the creative conception that starts everything. And when we look at the way it works, there's a law that's involved. And the law makes the way possible by going through our thoughts, our internal energy, and that's how it comes out to the effect in our lives. That's how love is pointing the way, but the law is this impersonal principle that acts on our creative energy. I think, you know what, it's easy. Look at it this way. It's like Jell-O. Jell-O, the liquid Jell-O, you can make it any color you want. That's the creative energy, that's the love. But we pour it into a mold. We can pour it into a mold that looks like a bunny. It looks like any sort of mold that we want. The mold that we are pouring this life energy into is our law. Because when it pops out, when we pop it out of that mold, that's what it's going to be reflected as. So our life is a reflection of the mold that we pour this divine energy into. Make sense? I have molds that my mother gave me. They're like little, they fit in your hand, and they're like little bunnies. I love to make them at Easter time. And you can pop them out. So that's what our life is representative of, that love points the way, and law makes the way possible. There is a list also that Maslow gave us, besides the characters or qualities of the people that are high achievers or self-actualized achievers. There's also a list of behaviors that these folks do. Where does it begin? Okay. Oh, yeah, here it is. I'm looking at it. The behaviors of the people who become self-actualized are: they experience life like a child with full absorption and concentration. What did the master teacher say? Become as little children. You don't enter into the heaven unless you become as a child. Trying new things instead of sticking to safe paths. Listening to your own feelings and evaluating experiences instead of the voice of tradition, authority, or the majority. What am I thinking of this? How am I feeling about this? We are all individualized expressions of this one energy. Avoiding pretense, game playing, and being honest. Being prepared to be unpopular if your views do not coincide with those of the majority. Taking responsibility and working hard. Trying to identify your defenses and having the courage to give them up. All of this kind of reminds me, I was reading The Science of Mind. How many of you are reading Science of Mind magazine this month? It has a picture of Einstein on the cover of it, and there's a fabulous article in here that Einstein wrote in 1930. And I went through it and just kind of highlighted the highlights of it that I wanted to share with you. It starts with, the name of it is Cosmic Religion. And if you look at the illustration that they have here, they have Einstein holding a sign that says, "Love is the answer." Okay? So let me share with you what I pulled out of here. Everything that men do or think concerns the satisfactions of the needs they feel or the escape from pain. When then are the feelings and the needs which have brought mankind to religious thought and to faith in the wildest sense? The primitive peoples, it is, first of all, fear that awakens religious ideas. Fear of hunger, fear of wild animals, of illness, and of death. The human soul forges a being more or less like itself. One hopes to win the favor of this being by deeds and sacrifices. I call this the religion of fear. A second source of religious development is found in the social feelings. Fathers and mothers, as well as leaders of great human communities, are fallible and mortal. The longing for guidance, for love and succor provides the stimulus for the growth of a social or moral conception of God. This is the God of providence, who protects, decides, rewards, and punishes. This is the social or moral idea of God. Only exceptionally gifted individuals, or especially noble communities, rise essentially above this level. In there, they are found a third level of religious experience, which is even more seldom found in its pure form. I will call this the cosmic religious sense. Indications of the cosmic religious sense can be found even on earlier kinds of development, the Psalms of David. In Buddhism, the religious geniuses of all times have been distinguished by this cosmic religious sense, which recognizes neither dogma nor God made in man's image. He goes on to say, anyone who knows scientific research in its practical applications where only those who have dedicated their lives to similar ends can have a living conception of the inspiration which gave these men the power to remain loyal to their purpose in spite of countless failures. It is the cosmic religious sense which grants this power. I left out a lot of it. He writes an awful lot like Ernest Holmes. But I thought it was interesting what he's talking about there then are these three levels of religions and the reason that they came into existence. And I see the parallel, the comparison between the primitive and the fear-based and Maslow's lower levels, the need for physical and just basic needs. And then we go up to the morality, and we make a God in our image. That's the second level of Maslow's level of the social. I need connection with people. The third, the cosmic level, are those folks, those 2% in our society that have that global, that cosmic acceptance of this energy that we call God, that we call life. This energy that all there is much bigger than anything that we can fear or make in our own image. It's beyond us. It is infinite in its nature. And that's not an easy concept for us finite mortals to grab. But what Einstein is talking about are those people, the Abraham Lincolns, the Thomas Jeffersons, those examples of those people. They listened to their hearts, and they went with what was told to them within their hearts. They didn't worry about what other people thought. They knew what was right for them because they listened to that still small voice, and they forged forward. I have a coffee cup that somebody gave me as a gift, and it's got a quote on it from Abraham Lincoln. It says Abraham Lincoln, and it says, if I can find it here, too many pages. It says, we can complain because rose bushes have thorns, or we can rejoice because thorn bushes have roses. Change your thinking, change your life. Change your perspective. Change your life. It's the way we look at things that we call the shots on how life is. And honestly, if you come down to it, I'm coming back to actually what our topic is today. In truth, in reality, all you need is love. Truly. Whatever level we find ourselves on, some days we're down there. I just need to breathe today. I just need to sleep. I just need to put one foot in front of the other. We're moving through them. It's like the four spiritual levels of maturity, spiritual maturity. The victimhood and the manifester and the person that is allowing spirit to move through us, the third level, and finally, as spirit, as love. That's what we want to emulate at every moment that we can. To look at me, I'm doing the best I can. How can I allow more love to live through me? Because I am the vehicle for it. This love needs to have me, needs to have you, needs to have all of us live its life to our best ability, to be self-fulfilled, to give of our very best that we can to honor this being that we are. I believe that we are here to be God in expression, to be love in expression, and to let go of anything that is not like that. So what do you need in life? Do you know what you need? No. All you need is love. Do, 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 do. All you need is love. Do, 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 do. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. Love is all you need. Love is all you need. We're going to be on a Beatles roll. Hey, you know what? Do you know Beatles songs? We could just do a concert on Beatles. Okay, my dears. So there you go. All you need is love, and so it is. Namaste.